Creating a nutrient-rich compost bed doesn't have to be a lengthy process. The Amish, known for their sustainable farming practices and connection to the land, have perfected methods that can transform raw organic materials into valuable compost in just 12 days. This accelerated approach combines traditional wisdom with practical techniques that anyone can apply. The Amish approach to composting centers on working with nature rather than against it. Their methods focus on creating the optimal environment for beneficial microorganisms to thrive and break down organic matter quickly. The key difference in their approach is the careful attention to balance, layering, and active management. High-carbon browns like dried leaves, straw newspaper and cardboard, high-nitrogen greens such as fresh grass clippings, vegetable scraps, and coffee grounds, garden soil or finished compost to act as a microbial activator, small amounts of wood ash, a water source, and finally a pitchfork or compost turner. Begin by selecting a location that receives partial sunlight. The Amish prefer spots with morning sun and afternoon shade. Create a base layer of coarse browns like small branches or corn stalks for drainage and aeration. This should be about 4 to 6 inches thick. Next, add your first active layer using a 3-to-1 ratio of browns to greens. The Amish are particular about thin, even layers rather than thick clumps of materials. Sprinkle a thin layer of garden soil or finished compost to introduce beneficial microbes. Moisten the layers until they feel like a wrung-out sponge. By day 3, your pile should be warming up significantly. The Amish method requires a complete turning of the pile, moving outside materials to the center and center materials to the outside. This ensures even decomposition. After turning, check moisture levels and add water if necessary. The pile should be generating noticeable heat, a sign that beneficial microbes are hard at work. This is when the Amish method diverges from conventional composting. Turn the pile daily during this period rather than weekly as many modern methods suggest. Each turning introduces oxygen, accelerating the microbial activity. The Amish often add a small handful of wood ash during one of these turnings to adjust pH levels and add minerals. Be sparing. Too much ash can make the compost too alkaline. Continue daily turning. The pile should remain hot to the touch and show significant reduction in volume. The original materials should be increasingly difficult to identify as they break down. If the pile seems to be cooling prematurely, add a small amount of greens and water to reactivate the process. In the final days, the compost should develop a rich, earthy smell and take on a dark, crumbly texture. The rapid decomposition phase is ending, and what remains is a nearly finished product. The Amish typically give the pile one final turning and allow it to rest for a day before using. The finished product may still contain small pieces of undecomposed material, which is perfectly acceptable for garden use. The Amish often use this young compost as a top dressing or mix it into the top few inches of soil rather than digging it deep into garden beds. The success of the Amish 12-day method lies in creating ideal conditions for microorganisms and actively managing the pile daily. The frequent turning introduces oxygen, which speeds decomposition, while the careful balance of materials provides the perfect nutrition for beneficial bacteria and fungi. By following these traditional methods, you can create valuable compost in less than 2 weeks, enriching your garden with natural nutrients and reducing waste in the process. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video if you found it helpful.